Okay, so I'm just going to read some verses here and then I'll tie it all together for you. There's many more of these, but this will be short. I want to make a real direct point here. I want you to go over to 1 Corinthians chapter 10, start right at the front. Moreover, brethren, I would not that you should be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea. And all were baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea. And all did eat the same spiritual meat. And all did drink the same spiritual drink. For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. Now, a lot of people go, there's no rock that followed them. Oh, yeah, there was. But I want to show you this. Let's go over to Daniel. This is when Nebuchadnezzar has that horrific dream of the statue, the head of gold, silver, and then it goes down to like bronze and iron, and then the feet in miry clay. So he has this dream. Daniel comes and tells him this is the dream that you had, because he wanted it, and an interpretation. We know that each one of those, the gold represented the Babylonian Empire, and then you have the Medes and the Persians, and ultimately you get down to the Greece, and then you get down to the iron that is Rome, and so forth. Okay, so I want you to see the very ending of this dream, though, and it says, "Thou, O king," this is second Daniel in the second chapter. 31, I'm starting there. "Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. The image's head was of fine gold, his breast and arms of silver, his belly and thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part iron and part of clay. Thou sawest till that a stone was cut without hands." That means without human beings, "which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and brake them to pieces." Okay, so that rock rolls down. It's hewn with no human being taking it out of the mountain. It is just a formed rock by God himself, and it smashes into this statue into pieces. And that rock is Jesus Christ. Okay? He's that rock, the kingdom of heaven, smashing all of man's kingdoms. Okay? His kingdom will take over the whole earth. If you go on and look at the interpretation, it gives the interpretation right after. Doesn't tell you who the rock is, but we know Jesus is the rock. He is the foundation, the rock of our foundation, the rock of our salvation. He's the foundation, the only one that can be laid. Now I want you to go over to Exodus. A lot of people do not understand all the archaeological evidence, historical evidence, and so forth for the truth of Scripture, and there's plenty of it. But I actually have a picture of this rock to show you. For many years, they were at the wrong mountain, thinking it was Sinai. But it is actually in Saudi Arabia, near Midian. But we're going to go to Exodus chapter 17 and Numbers chapter 20. Okay, now go to chapter 17 of Exodus. This is where he has brought the people out, and they're in the desert, and they're fussing at Moses because they don't have any water. And it says in verse 3, "And the people thirsted there for water. And the people murmured against Moses and said, Wherefore is this that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt, to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst? And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, What shall I do unto this people? They be almost ready to stone me. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go on before the people, and take with thee of the elders of Israel, and thy rod, wherewith go smotest the river, take in thine hand and go." So where he struck the river and it parted, right? "Take that rod, strike the rock. Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb, And thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that the people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. Okay. Now I'm going to show you one of the rocks. All right. The rock that water came out. But first I want you to go to Numbers chapter 20. Same concept, except this time God gives them different instructions. And once again, there's no water, and the people were fussing with Moses, saying, would God that we had died when our brethren died before the Lord? And why have you brought up the congregation of the Lord into this wilderness, that we and our cattle should die there? And wherefore have you made us to come up out of Egypt to bring us in this evil place? It is no place of seed or of figs or vines or pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink. And Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they fell upon their faces. And the glory of the Lord appeared unto them. Listen to what he says. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, and when we say he appeared bodily, that is a pre-incarnate Jesus Christ standing with Moses. Take the rod and gather thou the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock. Speak. Don't take that rod and hit it. Speak to it. And there's a very good reason for this. We're told in Scripture that the law and the prophets, they're all shadows, pictures, images of a good thing to come. So all the law and the prophets point to Jesus Christ and the promise of the everlasting gospel, salvation by God's grace through faith in the Messiah's death, burial, and resurrection. Okay? So you'll see pictures and types and shadows all through it. As they say, the Old Testament is the New Testament concealed, and the New Testament is the Old Testament revealed, right? So here it says, take the rod, gather the assembly, and speak to the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth water. Thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock, so thou shalt give the congregation and their beasts drink. Moses took the rod from before the Lord as he commanded him. Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock, and he said unto them, hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock? And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock, not once, but twice. And the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beast also. But he tells Moses, the Lord spake to Moses and Aaron, because you believed me not to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them. This is the water of Meribah, because the children of Israel strove with the Lord, and he was sanctified in them. He disobeyed. He did not speak to it, but struck it. Why was Moses punished for that? That is a shadow of Jesus. He struck it once, and water came out. Jesus died for us once for all. Once. He doesn't die twice. He is the rock of our salvation. He is that rock. Paul tells us. It's a picture. The rock, the stone that rolls down the hill in the dream is Jesus, the kingdom of heaven. So a picture was being destroyed there. All he has to do is speak to it. Jesus died once for all. It's finished. But because he did that and struck it with anger, the picture was damaged. See? Because the picture is he died once for all, perfecting us forever. And so he need only speak to it. I have a picture of that rock. They for years thought it was in another place, but a lot of times tradition is hard to get over. So we're going to take a picture and put it up here so you can see. There's a place where it split, but you can see on the ground still to this day where tons of water came out of this thing constantly for a very long time. And it's all throughout the area. If you can research it, you can see it. We know that that's where this occurred. There's all kinds of archaeological evidence for Mount Sinai as well. There's gold where they burned the golden calf down to ashes and put it into water. Remember, there's residue of that there. There's pictographs. There's things carved in the mountain. It's amazing. There's a perimeter around the bottom of the mountain where they were warned not to touch the mountain because it was holy and they'd die. It's still there. There's plenty of evidence archaeologically for Scripture. So much of it. It's not blind faith. God tells us to come and reason together with him. I tried to make this as short as possible and condensed because I have a tendency to zoop ADHD off on a limb somewhere. But I really wanted you to see this. All right, you guys, God bless you.